How do you think cultural heritage should be preserved in modern society? By integrating traditions into contemporary life, like celebrating festivals or teaching traditional crafts in schools. What do you think? I agree. I also think digital archives can play a huge role in preserving heritage for future generations. Do you have any regrets in life? I try not to dwell on regrets, but I do wish I had traveled more when I had the chance. What about you? I regret not taking certain opportunities because I was afraid of failure. But I've learned from those experiences. What's the most challenging part of learning a new language? For me, it's pronunciation. Some sounds don't exist in my native language, so they're tricky. How about you? I find idioms and cultural nuances challenging. They're not always logical, but they add so much depth to communication. Do you think it's possible to be an entirely ethical consumer? It's nearly impossible in today's global economy, but small conscious choices can still make a difference. What's your take? I agree. I try to support sustainable brands, but it's hard to verify if they're genuinely ethical. Do you think time is our greatest resource? Definitely. It's finite and irreplaceable, so how we use it defines our lives. Do you feel like you use your time wisely? Not always. I'm learning to prioritize better and let go of things that don't truly matter. How concerned are you about online privacy? Quite concerned. It feels like we're trading convenience for security without realizing the long-term consequences. How do you manage your data online? I'm cautious about what I share and use encrypted platforms whenever possible, but it's hard to avoid leaving a digital footprint. Would you prefer to live in a bustling city or a quiet rural area? I love the vibrancy of cities, but sometimes I crave the peace of rural life. What about you? I think a mix would be ideal. Perhaps living on the outskirts of a city with easy access to both worlds. What do you value most in a friendship? Loyalty and genuine connection. I think true friends stick by you through thick and thin. How about you? For me, it's mutual respect and understanding. A good friend accepts you for who you are. How do you think AI will impact the job market in the next decade? It'll likely automate repetitive tasks, but it might also create opportunities in tech and creative industries. Do you see it as a threat or an opportunity? A bit of both. It depends on how prepared people are to adapt to the changing landscape. How do you establish personal boundaries in relationships? Clear communication is key. I let people know what I'm comfortable with early on. How about you? I've learned to say no when necessary, even if it feels awkward. It's important for self-care. Do you prefer reading books or watching their movie adaptations? Books, definitely. They offer so much more depth and let you imagine the world in your own way. What about you? I love both, but sometimes I find movies capture emotions more vividly through visuals and music. What are your top priorities in life right now? Personal growth and spending quality time with loved ones. What about you? Mine are similar, but I'm also focusing on building financial stability for the future. Do you think humanity should colonize other planets? It's an exciting idea, but I think we should focus on fixing Earth's problems first. What's your opinion? I see your point, but space colonization might also be a long-term solution for overpopulation and resource scarcity. What's the most memorable trip you've ever taken? A solo backpacking trip through Europe. It was liberating and taught me a lot about myself. How about you? Visiting the Great Barrier Reef was unforgettable. It's such a unique ecosystem. Do you think social media has helped or hindered social movements? Both. It amplifies voices and spreads awareness, but it can also lead to misinformation and performative activism. What do you think? I agree. The challenge is ensuring that online support translates into real-world action. How do you think family relationships change as we grow older? They become more balanced. Parents treat you more like an equal, and sibling bonds often grow stronger. What's your experience? I've found that communication improves over time as everyone matures and gains perspective. How do you approach a new creative project? I start by brainstorming ideas and gathering inspiration. Then I outline a plan before diving in. What's your process? I usually jump straight into creating and refine along the way. It keeps the energy flowing. Do you think it's important to preserve endangered languages? Absolutely. They're a vital part of cultural identity and history. What's your view? I agree. It's amazing how language shapes the way we think and perceive the world. What's a milestone you're looking forward to? Earning my first promotion at work. It feels like a significant step in my career. What about you? I'm looking forward to completing my master's degree. It's been a long journey, but it'll be worth it. Do you think universal basic income is a feasible solution to economic inequality? It's an interesting idea, but funding it sustainably is a major challenge. What's your opinion? I think it could work in combination with other policies, but it needs careful planning to avoid unintended consequences.